Siemens explains anti-money laundering. Why do criminals launder money? Money, the driving force behind the majority of criminal activity. The profits generated from criminal activities are called dirty money, and authorities try to seize them wherever possible. The guiding principle being crime should not pay off. A criminal will therefore try to make the money look clean. This process, making money originally obtained from a crime look like it was obtained from a legitimate source, is called money laundering. Money laundering is always linked to criminal activity and a crime itself. The estimated amount of money laundered globally in 1 year is 2 to 5% of the global GDP, 800 billion to 2 trillion US dollars. But how does money laundering work? We differentiate 3 phases. A. Placement. Most dirty money starts in the form of cash. Placement describes the process of getting rid of this initial cash, or cash equivalents, and introducing the funds into the global financial trade system. Often cash is deposited in small tranches into multiple bank accounts in multiple banks and by various persons, but it can also be used to directly buy a product that will later be sold again. This initial step is often done relatively close to the prior criminal activity, in order not to risk crossing borders with large amounts of cash. Placement is the most risky phase for the criminal. Just imagine a bad guy depositing 100,000 euros in cash in his bank. B. Layering. The second phase of money laundering is used to disguise the origin of the funds. In this phase, the money launderer engages in a series of multi-jurisdictional transfers of funds and conversion of the funds to products or services, and the subsequent cross-border sale of these products. The criminal will even accept a decrease in the value of the original funds if the layering steps provide a great disguise. C. Integration. The last step of the laundering process gives the criminal finally access to use the funds. In this step, the funds are used to buy assets, real estate, or perform business investments. The money now appears clean and can be used by the criminal with a much lesser chance of being detected by authorities. Good business investments are a prime target for integration. How does this affect Siemens? An example. A customer might want to pay Siemens with cash or cash equivalents. Siemens must take care to identify and verify business counterparts before we accept any cash transaction from and above 10,000 euros. Certain countries have even lower legal thresholds. What about your country? Many people believe that money laundering is only related to cash. That's wrong. There are many different red flags. Also, unnecessary complex business transactions, for example with intermediaries who add little value and involve multiple countries, must be evaluated for the potential for money laundering. What about a very small company requesting a large order from Siemens? How does it finance this? Or a known business counterpart from the energy sector suddenly buying healthcare equipment and paying from offshore accounts. Why is this business interesting for the counterpart? or a customer requesting a transfer of an overpayment back to a different account. Who does this new account belong to? Or a customer buys Siemens equipment and pays in unusually small tranches below a regional reporting limit. Why does he pay in such small tranches? Or we become aware of investigations or legal proceedings against the counterpart. Occurring red flags does not mean that money laundering takes place, but that we must take a close look at the business counterpart and the business transaction, as criminals are now turning to buy and sell high-value products. Trade-based money laundering. If Siemens suspects any such transactions, we are obliged to report to the relevant authorities. The goal of money laundering is to hide the source of funds in any form of transaction. Its biggest foe is transparency. If you know and understand the following 3 aspects of a business deal, be confident and act accordingly. Know your counterpart. Know and understand who Siemens does business with, who represents, owns, and ultimately benefits from the counterpart. Its finances. Know and understand the source of financing of the business counterpart and the origin of money used in financial transactions with Siemens. And the reasons for the transaction. Know and understand the commercial, technical, and other reasons for the business transaction and its form. Takeaway for your daily business. Look out for red flags. If they occur, they must be clarified before continuing the business and must be discussed with the relevant compliance officer. If such incidents cannot be clarified, a report to authorities by compliance becomes necessary. Knowledge and understanding of A. Our business counterparts and their owner and beneficiaries. B. The source of their financing and the origin of money used in financial transactions with Siemens, as well as C. The reasons for concrete business transaction, are the basis of good money laundering prevention.